Welcome to the You on the Camino de Santiago podcast. This podcast is for and about first-time pilgrims walking the pilgrimage routes in Spain, France, and Portugal. With your host, guide and longtime pilgrim, Nancy Reynolds of the Camino Experience. What is the Camino really all about? Many pilgrims say it's all about the people, and my guest today is likely to agree with that. Hi, this is Nancy, coming to you, sort of, from my favorite Camino city, Pamplona. I'm here for a few days before going to Saint-Jean-Pied-du-Port to meet up with my September Camino Experience group of 8 fabulous pilgrims. On Sunday, we start walking from Saint-Jean, and our first night will be at Refuge Orison. I say I am sort of coming to you from Pamplona because this episode was recorded and edited long before I left home. But as it releases, I am in Pamplona, thinking of all of you and wondering where you are on your Camino journey. Tomorrow evening, I will be meeting up with Jill, who you met in the last episode, for pinchos. And I will get to do one of my all-time favorite things, show someone around the historic city center of Pamplona. But this episode is not about me, it's about my guest, Cheryle, who walked the Camino at the age of 81. Seriously, I think the Camino is helping to redefine how we talk about and look at aging. Cheryle walked the Camino with her friend, Janet, and together they made friends all along the way. Cheryle doesn't consider herself a walker, but she did it. And when she wrote to me last week, she said this: "I still have the love and glow of the beautiful walk I had on the Camino." Let's go ahead and meet Cheryle. Cheryle, hi. Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. Welcome.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Well, I was just delighted when you reached out. We've got some interesting things to talk about from your journey. So we may as well just jump right in if that's okay with you.
Okay, that's great.
Okay, excellent. So let's do this. Let's start where I always start, to put the pin in the map. Will you share with us, please, what you did? What was your Camino experience?
Well, we started in Sarria and we completed all the way to Santiago, which I was am very proud of.
Yay.
And for, many reasons, but the main reason is I was walking for all the people that I've loved in the past as well as present, and hopefully many, many more people in the future. So basically it was the whole gamut of my lifespan of 81 years.
81. Okay, hold on a second. Did everybody catch that? 81 years old when she walked the Camino. That reminds me to say, if you are not 81, you have no excuse to not walk the Camino. We cannot use the age card anymore.
No, age has nothing to do with it. or even limitations. I mean, if you have the will and desire and you have the call, if you will, it can happen.
Yeah.
And it will happen.
It can, absolutely. How many days did you take to walk?
Well, we took a long time. We started on May 5th, and we finished on May 17th.
So 12 days? Does that sound about right?
12 days.
12 days of walking?
Yeah.
All right. So that is longer than many people take to walk that stretch. So would you share with us how you put together this plan?
Well, I was traveling with a friend, so she actually put most of this together because we were actually gone almost 3.5 weeks. But for the Camino itself, we went through a service and we had our luggage transported from one place to the next. And then we relied on them to pick out our lodging. And, we weren't really sure how that was going to work, but it ended up being absolutely fabulous, all of it. And then we decided that we would take certain rest days so that we could rest up. And for me in the walk, if the hill looked way too ominous, I went, I'm not doing that. I'm going to wait till tomorrow. And I did. And as it turned out, many times what was happening after we arrived at our lodging was very special. Very special things happened there.
Oh,
So maybe it was okay that I didn't walk that big.
okay. Now we need a story. Can you share something that happened?
Well, I just mainly I didn't want to go up that hill. And then when we finally got there, we actually met a gentleman from the Carolinas, and we had seen him on the trail a few times. And he was almost like a good Samaritan to many of the pilgrims. Some of this I witnessed, and some of it I did not. And then my friend said, "Well, I wonder what he's all about." And I said, "Well, we'll probably find out because we'll see him again." And then shortly thereafter, we did see him again. And he told us about his adventures. And we asked him, he was probably in his 70s. We asked him, what do your children think? Or what does your family think? And he said, "Oh, they think I'm just out on a hike, not actually really doing, this beautiful walk to Santiago." So I think he was really downplaying that, but that
Mm.
was the way it was. And so mainly we met so many beautiful people. We also met two ladies that had been friends for 50 years, and they're from England. And one of the ladies just retired after 49 years of being a midwife, and loved the Beach Boys. And so she loved it that we were from California. And we danced in one of the little stores to the Beach Boys. She asked the gentleman to put the Beach Boys on there, and we danced around. And so we're still communicating now. And let's see, we've met others. One thing I did find was, because I was going with a friend who was an experienced hiker as well as walker, I, in my heart of hearts, sometimes felt like I was holding her back, like she needed to, move faster, that type of thing. However, after speaking, which I said out loud to many people, they said, "Well, it's really her choice." And so what happened was, one day she did go by herself. And then I said, "Well, do you want to do that again?" And she said, "No, I'm over it."
Oh my gosh, isn't that sweet?
And the reason she was over it is she realized that if she goes really, really fast, she does not see or experience the ambiance and the beauty of the walk.
There it is.
Hmm.
Yes. Yes. Because I don't know, when will you ever be in these towns and villages and meeting these people again?
Probably not ever, but you never
You
know.
never know.
Probably it wouldn't
Well,
be the same experience anyway. So
it wouldn't be. The people will all be different for sure.
yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, it sounds really lovely. It sounds like you had a nice pace and you had enough time to enjoy where you were.
Hmm.
Were there any highlights that you would like to share with us?
Well, the main highlight, of course, is when we were walking to Santiago.
Mhm.
And we were almost there, and we stopped for a little refreshment. And as we were leaving that establishment, we ran into a young lady, and she was from California. It was the first Californian we actually met. In fact, I think she was the only one
Oh,
on the trail. And
okay.
then she left us. And then as we were going into Santiago, I felt myself getting extremely excited. And I still had many, many steps to take to get there. So just right before we turned the corner to go to the cathedral, the chimes from the church, or the bells, started ringing, and we arrived at 12 noon. 12 noon. We didn't plan that. We didn't
Oh,
even think about anything like that. I mean, so I consider that the universe answering all of our questions and all.
what a moment.
Oh, it was beautiful. So as we were walking in, the 12 chimes rang, and then the bagpipes
Yes.
started playing.
Yes.
And then, of course, then there was lots of tears and I actually got that all on video. I was like so surprised. And my camera was going around and around in a circle. And it was because I was so excited. But anyway, it was just absolutely wonderful.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And did you and your friend walk in together into the plaza together?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then I guess that was the big highlight. However, I did and do want to mention getting the Compostela certificate
Hmm.
after we went through the whole thing of saying who we were and filling out the forms and all of that, which was just like, you know, filling out on a computer, which was, but it was okay. That part was okay. But when I got to the counter, the lady was there and I said, now tell me all about it. What am I getting? And she went, oh, I'd love to hear this. Did you have a wonderful time? And I went, I did. And she was so excited. It was really, really a wonderful experience. And then when I got to the register to pay, Lucy, she, she checked me out. Well, later on in the day, oh no, the following day, two ladies we met from Romania, they met us and we went back and they got their compostelas that day. And then we went to Lucy and paid again. She remembered me and
Oh,
she was and so I have a beautiful photograph of lots of smiles and a lot of heartfelt things happening there.
oh, it's those moments, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah,
all about the moments.
it is. And the people who you meet and those just little tiny little micro interactions that you have.
Yeah.
Now, I want to clarify something. You went to the register and paid. What did you pay for?
Oh, I paid for my Compostela certificate.
Okay, because those are actually free. Did you get
Oh, wait, no, 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 no. Oh, you're right. You're right.
yeah,
No, it wasn't that. It was the little cylinder to
the
put it.
cylinder. Yes.
Yes. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes.
No, no, that's okay. I only clarify because there might be people listening who think, wait a minute, I have to pay for the Compostela. Let me be ready for that.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
So just to clarify, the Compostela is free,
Uh-huh.
and there also is a certificate of distance that you can get that you do pay for. It's 3 or 4 euros.
Oh,
But then to protect those, you can go right over to the cash register to Lucy, now we know, and
uh-huh.
pay for that cardboard cylinder to protect them.
Right. I did
Yeah,
pay for something else, but I don't. Hmm, maybe it was the distance. Maybe that's what I paid for.
maybe.
But definitely the cylinder.
Yeah.
But either way, the everyone was very friendly and it just made it more special to go back the following day.
Nice. Yeah. I often think about the people who serve the pilgrims, and there's this constant stream of people, and they see them, they go, they come, they go, they come, they go. And there isn't time to make a relationship of any kind. But
Right.
then when you see the same person a second time,
Yeah.
there's a familiarity now, and there's a teeny tiny little micro relationship has been established. And I can tell you from my experience working in hospitality, it
Uh-huh.
was my regular guests who lit up my day.
Sure.
To see people, oh, you came back. Thank you. I'm so
Yes.
glad you came back. So
Yes.
I don't want to underestimate the power of returning and recognizing the people who have served us.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I felt very happy to be able to guide them, my friends, to guide them. Well, this is what we did yesterday. We'll show
fun.
you where to go and what to do. And because what they did is they reached Santiago many days before we did.
Hmm.
And then they went to Finisterre and
Okay.
somewhere else. I've forgotten. Starts with an M.
Maybe Mushia.
Yeah, Lucia. And then they came back and then they met us and then we had our beautiful time together.
Well, that's fun too, is to be able to show somebody something and suddenly you're the local, you're the expert.
Oh, no, but I had been there before.
Right. You've been there before, so now you know how it works and you know how it goes and you know Lucy, here's my friend, and it's so special. And I love that in my experience anyway, the Spanish people warm right up to that. They're like, "Yeah, you're back."
Well, I had a lot of fun. And sometimes when I don't know how other people feel, but sometimes you build all this stuff up in your mind and you're so excited. Then you do the walk and not every day is the same and all that. And then you reach your destination and then sometimes you think, is that all there is? But I actually didn't feel that way at all. I
Oh.
felt like, oh, this is good. This is real good. So
Oh.
I didn't feel that way at all.
Why do you think that is? What do you think it is about the experience of walking the Camino that left you that fulfilled?
Well, I think in the past with losses and just life's general experiences, if we will, sometimes you think there's more, and you do ask that question: is this it? Is
Yeah.
this all there is? But with that, it was more of a fulfillment of a goal that I had, as well as a spiritual feeling that I had. And so, with those two combined, I mean, I just felt very complete
Mm,
with this walk.
mm.
I've had people say, well, will you go back? You know, maybe if life presents it, but if not, I know that I'm very fulfilled with exactly what I've been accomplished so far.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah. And I couldn't have done it without all my friends and everybody.
Well, that was actually one of my questions for you. Is there another Camino in your future?
Well, I was thinking if I could convince my husband to walk, perhaps do the Portuguese.
Okay.
We do live in California and we do live on the coast. And I think that that might be just a little less stressful and a little less strenuous, but that might not be true, but that's what I'm thinking.
That's what we have in our minds. We're imagining.
Yeah, exactly. But since I've not been on it, I don't really know.
Yeah.
I did want to tell you, say one thing. Before we went, we spent 5 days in Spain. We went to the northern coast. We went
Oh,
to Cudillera and Ribadero.
okay.
So we did a lot of walking there. And what was fun is we were walking, we went to the Three Cathedral beach. And with that, we were walking to a restaurant that the proprietor had told us about. And as we were walking, there was a yellow arrow. It was part of the Camino.
The Camino del Norte.
Yeah. And so we did
Yeah.
that. And when we were in the town of Cudillero, the very first pilgrim we met, her name was Bradley, I believe. She lived in Texas. That's where I'm originally from. And I saw her walking down the street. She was by herself. And I went, oh, would you happen to be a pilgrim? She said, oh, I was just like overjoyed. I was overjoyed. So we met her and took pictures, our very first pilgrim that we met. She was
Oh,
she was delightful and she gave us all kinds of advice as to, how to take care of our feet and all that kind of stuff.
isn't
And then,
that
of course,
great?
we never saw her again, but
Yeah.
she was,
But again, it's those moments. It's
yes,
those moments of connection
yeah,
that really fill us up.
yeah, yeah,
Ah,
great.
wonderful.
It was great.
Oh, very nice. Now, I do want to ask, would you be willing to share what company you use to do your planning?
Oh, of course, we used Camino Ways
Okay.
and some others named other companies. However, we were very, very satisfied. However, I think if you plan ahead, I think your accommodations are, you get, well, you get better accommodations because they're available. And some of the people that we talked to who use Camino Ways last minute, their accommodations were nice, but they weren't, kind of what they were expecting.
Okay.
But, everyone, to each his own, everybody has a different level of how they, want it to be.
Sure.
For us, we knew we didn't want to be in an albergues, even though I think that would have been so much fun. Oh, I know it would have been fun. However, you know, I didn't, just to bring the age up again, I just, I don't like snoring for one thing, and I'm sure
Sure.
I do the same. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so, but the also just another thing is we belong to the Central Coast Pilgrims. As, I guess I think they call it association, but the Central Coast Pilgrims.
American Pilgrims on the Camino group?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So we went prior to going, we went to their meetings and we received our shell and the blessing of the shell
Mm.
and it starts those little it's called beauty.
Beatitudes?
Yes.
Yeah. Isn't that special?
Yes, it's very special. And I brought them
Yeah.
with me. And every now and then I'd pull them out.
I love that. Just I think it was in April, I did a call for everyone on my email list for
Oh,
anyone who was getting ready to go walk the Camino.
yeah,
Were you on that
I
call?
was. Yes.
Oh, good. Yeah, and I read the Beatitudes. I read the Pilgrim blessing for everyone getting ready to go, just to give a blessing to everyone who is getting ready to go.
Well, I do want to mention one other thing, and this is about you.
Oh,
As I was scrolling, trying to find out information about the Camino and all of that, for some reason, there you were. I saw you. And I communicated with you. I listened to your podcast, and oh, I'm gonna start. Um, hmm, anyway, thank you.
oh, Cheryl, it's my pleasure. You got me too. Okay.
That's so ridiculous. Yeah, but anyway, and I decided, then my friend and I, if I had gone alone, I would have, I would have contacted you right away. But since I was going with someone else who was basically organizing it all, well, then I, so I just wanted to tell you that. Um, just wanted to tell you that. Thank you.
That means a lot to me.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that means a lot to me. I set out sort of with a mission to support pilgrims and to bring a different voice out there.
Mhm.
And when someone comes back to me and says this made a difference, that means I'm fulfilling on that. And so
Oh, yeah.
your feedback is really valuable. Thank you.
Well, I'm more than happy to give you positive feedback
Thank you.
because yeah,
Thank you.
you really inspired me.
Oh, good. I think inspiration is such an important part of the Camino experience.
Oh, yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Was there anything that particularly inspired you on the Camino?
Oh, inspired me. Well, besides getting through the whole thing.
Yeah, successfully completing it. And by the way, you are going to inspire people because there will be a lot of people listening to this going, wait a minute, she's 81, and if she can do it, I can do it.
Well, there are many, many others much
Right?
older than myself.
Right. You were sort of the youth group
I
out
was the
there.
young one. How you're always the youngest and then suddenly you're the oldest. Well, absolutely. I was more in the younger set at
I
times. We did
love
meet
that.
someone, that was in their late 80s. And then I did read where somebody was like 93. So, if you want it to happen and it's meant to be, it will happen.
Yeah.
So back to your question about inspiration,
Yeah.
I think just being there and seeing everyone, seeing everyone just, I don't want to say the word tackle, but uh, recognize their why, if you will, and then acting upon it. And there they are, they're doing their walking. I mean, we saw people walking just real slow, slower than myself. And then we saw people on horseback. We saw people on bicycles. I don't think I saw anyone in a wheelchair, though I know there are many that do that. And that is, to me, awe-inspiring.
Right?
And so I think if I had seen that, I would have really been inspired by that. Also, the connection that you have with the people on the trail. We just happened to go when it wasn't too hot, and so we could actually look around, and it wasn't raining all the time, so we weren't, covered up with all of our gear. And we met some really awesome people.
I bet they'd say the same thing about you.
No, I don't know about that, but I know
Yeah.
they were awesome, that's for sure.
Oh, well, you talked about meeting people with all different reasons for why they're out there. Would you be willing to share a bit more about your reasons for walking the Camino? You touched on it.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I don't mind at all. Well, back in 2009, I was getting ready to get married,
Mm,
actually,
mm,
and my son passed away, and in 2009, and then
mm.
shortly thereafter, I watched that movie, The Way,
Okay.
and that I love to watch movies, and so that was just one of many movies I watched while I was going through the grieving process. And I said to my husband at the time, I said, I think I'm going to do that. Well, I'm not really a walker, nor am I, an exercise buff. So I thought, well, okay. However, that was 2009 and 2024. I asked my friend, I said, have you ever thought about going on the Camino? And she said, well, I have, but no one will go with me. And I said, well, you want to give it a whirl? And she said, yes. And I nearly fainted. I said, oh, I thought, what have I gotten myself?
Threw the door wide open. Now you got to walk through it, my friend.
And she said, well, I'll make all the arrangements if you want to go. And I went, okay.
Oh,
So I
wow.
did. But I have to tell you, I did train. I did train. I
Okay.
started walking, and I started walking up hills and down hills. And I went to the doctor, and I had a clearance from the doctor, and well, eye doctor, the heart doc, all that. I wanted to cover, all bases. And then I got a go, and I said, okay, no excuse. And then I started doing the walking and the exercising and all of that. And, you know, my, I loved every minute of it. And I'm still doing that now. I'm still walking.
Okay. Well, that was my next question is what have you taken home with you from the Camino experience?
Well, I never thought there really was such a thing as jet lag, but about 3 days in, I went, oh, there it is. I didn't realize. But what did I take home? I took home mainly the that that I can that I if I have the desire and I have the call to do something, it will happen, and that there's really no excuse.
Ah,
Or you can make a little modification for it to happen somehow. And it doesn't always happen at once either. So I took that, it's all in the moment, really.
mm-hmm.
It's all in the moment. You think, oh no. And then the next moment, it's, oh yes, I can do this.
Ah, and there are many of those along the way, aren't there?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's all in the timing, I think.
Mm, mm.
Yeah. And then I've only been home a month. And I did find that I did get a cold, and but that was because I was volunteering somewhere, and I think I just was not myself, and then all of a sudden I got this cold. However, I do realize I'm involved in many community things, and I want to continue that. But I also know that, and I think I learned this, that I can just be real quiet and listen to myself, and I can figure out what direction I need to go for the rest of my life. I don't need all the noise to you know keep me entertained, so to speak.
Oh, would you say more about that? That's got me intrigued.
Well, people do things. Sometimes it's because they want the recognition themselves, so they volunteer or they do this, or sometimes they do it from the heart. I belonged to an organization at one point. I was there 7 years. I don't even I didn't even realize that it had been 7 years because it was such a beautiful, loving experience.
Okay.
However, do I need that now? No. I like just, being not by myself, but just being more calm and quiet.
Hmm.
That type of thing. I don't know if I answered your question or not, but
Well, is that something you brought home from the Camino? Is this a new version of yourself you've discovered?
well, I think it's a version that I can use if I need to.
Okay.
I still like to talk and I like to be engaged. I
I can
like to
see
know
that.
what's happening with everybody and vice versa. And I only want the best for everyone.
Yeah, I can get that about you.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool.
Wow. Well, you've just got such a vibrancy and a radiance to you. I think you've got lots of good stuff coming your way.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate
Yeah.
that very much.
Well, let me ask you another question.
Okay.
Is there anything that you have wanted to share about your Camino, but no one has asked you the right question yet?
Hmm. I hadn't thought about that. Let's see. Well, I think maybe some people might say, well, do I have regrets doing this? And I have to say, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay.
And, it wasn't easy getting over there either
How come?
because we took, it was almost like planes, trains, and automobiles type thing. We didn't go on buses or anything like that, but traveling over there, then there was the Madrid blackout, and then there were a few other things. And on the way over, we weren't feeling well. We'd eaten something on the plane, which was
Oh no.
ridiculous. So then, luckily, we were in an area where we were taken care of. And so we had a 4 hour layover. And then we finally made it to Madrid
Goodness.
and then to Cudillero. So regrets, I actually don't have any regrets, but if someone were to ask me that, I would have to say absolutely not. I have no regrets.
Okay. Well, that's a good way to live, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. I have a little bookmark and I can't really quote it, but it said, it basically says just do it. Even if the fear pops up, do it anyway.
Yeah. I think fear might be an indicator we're on the right track.
So
That kind of fear, when there's no, outside force threatening you and it's internal fear,
yeah, internal. Yeah, yeah,
time to throw your hat over the wall, get
yeah,
going.
exactly. And then be
Mm,
conscious of the fact that you are afraid, and then you're gonna, do it anyway and be cautious. I don't think there's anything wrong with being cautious.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. All right. Well, one more question.
Okay.
Do you have any advice for first time pilgrims?
Oh, lots of
Okay,
advice.
let's have it.
Well, the first thing is I say do your research wherever it is you're going to go, at least do your research.
What kind of research would you suggest people
Oh,
do?
the research would be, well, of course, in the modern age, I would say, even Facebook, or just look up, I mean, I came upon you by doing that. So I learned a lot from you. I learned a lot from others. And then I looked up the Camino and the section that we were going to travel. I did that. So that's how I started.
Okay.
And then I kept looking at trying to figure out kilometers with miles and all that kind of stuff. And then I decided, okay, now I have to get my health and my body in order to be able to pull this off. So I took really, really good care of my feet
Hmm.
from the very beginning.
What did that entail?
So I bought the NNG toe socks,
Okay.
and And I didn't actually use Vaseline, though I did occasionally on the Camino. But I'd use the toe socks, and then I used the uh,
Darn tough.
darn tough socks, and I used the short ones so that they wouldn't rub on my leg because I did get that rash, that
Okay.
pilgrim's rash, and that was because I bought an extra pair of socks and I wore them up too high, and I had walked like 12 miles that day,
Mm-hmm.
and I immediately got that.
Okay.
And so I went to the pharmacist, and I have to tell you, they know their stuff. And he gave me some cream, and mine was gone very quickly. And then I alleviated the problem because I was almost positive it was the socks that did that. And the shoe situation. I was in shoe hell for about a month.
Oh, no.
Oh, and then I ended up going with the Solomon Glide 2s, and I did runners.
Okay.
If it was wintertime or real rainy or anything like that, I probably would have gone with heavier boots, like Merrell's or something like that. But I finally figured out, what shoes to wear. I brought my boots, didn't wear them. I wore my tennis shoes instead of the Solomons. And they definitely were not a fashion statement, but I wore them about 100 miles plus. So, and I never got one blister.
Wonderful.
So I would say, that, and, putting your feet up at night if you have swelling. And I had all the things they said.
Okay.
My feet didn't swell, but my ankles and my legs were swollen for a couple of days. Oh, and the poles. Absolutely, the poles.
Okay. What did you love about your trekking poles?
Oh, I loved everything about them.
Okay, what's everything? You got to tell us.
I loved the way the strap felt around my hand. So I felt like I didn't have to really hold on that hard. I liked it that I was working my arms. And then the poles really helped with downhill, well, and uphill too, but especially downhill if it was very, very rocky, which it was at times. There were times when it was wet and I was worried about falling. And as long as I had a 3-point contact, I was good. And I learned all that from the research of how to walk with trekking poles. So, I mean, I didn't know. I'd never used trekking poles before. And I still use them now. I mean, we walk here in Cambria, and I still am using. I don't think I'll stop using them now. I think
Yeah, I remember when I learned how to use trekking poles. Not that there's a right or wrong way, but there's a way to get the most benefit out of using them. And it was a revelation because I had no idea. What do you do with these two sticks? Yeah. So the straps and getting the height right and the rubber tips. When do you put them on? When do you take them off? So important.
Well, I liked them a lot, but I also liked my rain gear. I had a rain jacket, and I didn't buy one poncho that was recommended, even though I think if I were to go again and I knew there was going to be heavy downpour, I probably would purchase that. But I ended up buying one that was very good, that was recommended by some young adults on Facebook. And I went, I think I'll go with that. And I did. And it worked out perfectly. So I was nice and dry the whole time.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. So the right gear, the right boots, the right socks.
And the impulse.
Excellent. All right. Well, Cheryl, thank you so much. It's just been a delight to talk with you and hear your experience. I know people are taking notes as they're listening to make sure they get all these good tips down. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. It's been a pleasure. I cherish this time.
Oh, me too. Me too. Now, if you do ever go back and do another Camino, please reach out so we can have you back on to tell more of your story.
Okay, I'd love it.
All right, Cheryl, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.